Hello there. Well, I'm sure most of us feel tired every now and again, and usually after a good night's sleep we wake feeling refreshed and revitalised and ready to face a new day. But if your tiredness continues and if it lasts a few weeks, then maybe it's time to see your GP. Now, hopefully a simple blood test will be all that's needed to determine what's causing your lack of stamina. But counterintuitively, more exercise can actually reduce fatigue. Now, I can feel some of you thinking at this point you're going to turn off at the mention of the word exercise, or don't. But do stick around, because that's just one of the possible solutions into what's causing your fatigue. And sticking around can make all the difference to you. Welcome to Grey Matters. Hello and welcome to Grey Matters, the channel that promotes the fact that the older generation still matters and looks at issues that matter to the older generation. Now, as we get older, strength and vitality diminishes. It's a fact, and it happens to all of us. So how is it that some seniors seem to be so full of vitality? I mean, take a look at the late great Sir Bruce Forsyth. I mean, he was singing and dancing virtually up to his death in 2018. And when this lack of stamina strikes, we find that we use more energy and we get tired more quickly, exhausted in some cases, more quickly, just by doing simple everyday tasks. And I know how I feel just climbing up the stairs now and then. So we're going to look at a few reasons why seniors experience a lack of stamina and explore a few simple remedies to combat it. And the first of these is to check your medications. Yep, open that packet and read the leaflet. You know, the leaflet that you never normally do read, and check the side effects. Now, I know a lot of people won't do that. Some people are worried that they're going to suffer every side effect that's mentioned. Others are worried that if they read them, they won't actually want to take the medications at all. But this is important. If you have a condition that's abnormal to you, the first port of call really should be your medications and check the leaflets for side effects. Now, in this case, where we're talking about stamina, do any of your medications mention a lack of stamina or muscle weakness in any of the contraindications? And if they do, then your doctor's got to be your next port of call. Now, hopefully he'll be able to prescribe an alternative medication for your condition that doesn't make you feel weak. So that's your first thing to do. The next thing to look at is muscle loss. And unfortunately, with older people, it's inevitable and it can cause weakness. But if it's not dealt with, then it might cause disabilities that can take away your independence. The older we get, the slower damaged muscles take to repair and recover. And if you combine that with shrinkage in size of the muscles, then that all helps to lead to fatigue. So the third thing to look at is the condition of your joints. There's cartilage, membranes and fluid that all combine to protect the bones against grinding against each other in your joints. As we get older, those things lose their potency, their efficiency and their ligament strength, and that can all lead to stiffness. And other than any serious medical reason, if you've got accelerated changes in those areas, it's nearly always due to the lack of exercise. And we'll talk more about that in just a moment. Finally, there's blood flow. Now, as we get older, the heart becomes less efficient at pumping blood. And in fact, from your late 30s, your heart's peak efficiency drops between 5 and 10% every 10 years. And with that diminished capacity, you'll find that everyday normal activities can cause breathlessness. And also, poor circulation restricts muscle growth. Don't forget, your heart is a muscle. So we need to address that too. Now let's look at some ways to bring your stamina back up. And this is where we have that dreaded word, exercise. Okay, don't worry about it. Okay, exercise is not going to bring back the youth of your 20s, but it will definitely bring some more vitality back into your life. And of course, before you start on any exercise program, do consult your GP. So if you can't do big routines, if you don't want to join a gym and all that, just make some small changes to your life generally. So for example, use the stairs instead of a lift. Walk rather than drive. Now, I'm not suggesting that you walk 5 miles into town every day to do your shopping, although great if you can. No, I'm thinking more about parking further away from the shops that you normally use, rather than parking right outside the door. Just increase your step rate. Okay, that will all help with muscle and cardiovascular. And it's little changes like that that will really help to contribute to your overall health. And if you can think of any other changes you can make, give us your suggestions down in the comments. We'd be pleased to hear about them. And don't forget, just do a few routine stretching exercises, because that all helps with muscle flexibility and the elasticity of the muscle fibers. But if you remember, in a recent Grey Matters video, I attended a seated yoga class. And in fact, my wife now attends a restorative yoga class every week. And it's specifically designed to improve flexibility and joint health. And she's really enjoying it. So it'd be worth you having a look locally to see if you've got anything similar that you could take part in. Now, you remember I mentioned blood flow, but do you remember the statistic I gave you? That from your 30s, your heart could lose up to 10% of its capacity to pump blood every 10 years. Now that means if you're in your 70s, your heart could have lost up to 40% of its ability to pump blood efficiently. So no wonder you might be feeling exhausted. However, a heart that gets a regular workout should keep your resting heart rate pretty much normal. Cardiovascular activities get the heart pumping, the blood flowing, and promotes muscle growth. And as I said, don't forget, your heart is a muscle. So by working that heart, you're going to make it a lot stronger. Well, of course, I mean, this is probably the point where you're going to start laughing, because it's recommended for seniors to do 30 minutes exercise a day for 5 days a week. The problem is with seniors is that they tend to have very busy lives. Whatever they're doing in their retirement, a lot of people don't want to set time aside to do exercise. You know, you don't have to go to a gym to do it. You could do things from the comfort of your own home. You can use the stairs more. You can walk briskly around the house and around your garden. Simple things like that. And I'm pretty certain if you look, you'll find a seated exercise class near you. The advantage of that is you don't just do it once a week at the class, but you can do the exercises you learn at home in the evening while you're watching TV, sitting comfortably in your own chair. It is counterintuitive, isn't it, that to go and do exercise when you're already feeling knackered. At the other end of the scale to exercise, but no less important, is sleep. Because if you're not getting quality sleep, it's going to cost you. It will adversely affect your metabolism, your muscle health, and your mental health. During certain stages of sleep, your body not only relaxes, but it repairs itself. And that's vital if you've started exercising more. Get a good night's sleep, and you'll reap the benefits of that exercise. Well, what about if you're not sleeping well? Well, for a start, put that phone away. Don't look at it in bed. Turn off the TV. And don't have any caffeinated drinks during the evening. That's a good start. Some people find that just reading a chapter of the book they're currently on before they drop off will help, but don't do any activity that's going to involve blue light from phones, tablets or television. That's a real killer. Unless you have a medical condition that stops you from sleeping, doing regular exercise, eating a healthy diet, and avoiding naps over 30 minutes during the day will all help you get a better night's sleep. I'm starting following these tips today, and I hope you will do too. And let us know in the comments, do you suffer from a lack of stamina? Do you know the cause? Are you going to try these tips? And if you have tried them, Did they work for you? Did they make a difference for you? We'd love to share your journey with you. So keep us in the loop, won't you? And that's it for this edition of Grey Matters. If there's any particular topic you would like us to cover in the future, please let us know. We'd love to hear from you. And in the meantime, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Grey Matters. Bye for now.